Hi guys, I want to talk about a very fun musical fact that I know from just having lots of time in the early 2000s to study and read library books. But this is what I know. I know that we know that the modes are based on Greek provinces, but somebody in the Dark Ages, probably somebody connected to in or the Roman Catholic Church misnamed them from what they were originally named in Greece as far as what note each mode is on. So I'd like to explain how the correct modes are named, and then maybe you can see this. First of all, there are seven modes, and let's say we're in C. Let's say we're in white keys on the piano. So there's the seven letters you have: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Well, usually we say C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. A is named correctly. So A really was Aeolian mode to the Greeks. So we have Aeolian is named correctly. But then if you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, the modes are named in reverse order from what they should have been. So therefore, after A is B, what we call B Locrian, um, to the Greeks, G was Locrian because G is before A and B is after A by one. So G was Locrian. B was what G was. So B was Mixolydian, and I'll explain why that was called Mixolydian in a minute. So far the actual names were A Aeolian, then B Mixolydian, and then you have and of course G was Locrian. Next you have C, so A B C, and that swaps places um, with D E with E. E and C swap places. So what we call C Ionian, actually C was Phrygian, and we call E Phrygian, but actually C. I mean we call E Phrygian, but actually E was Ionian. And wait, I said C. Sorry, I didn't. Sorry about that. F is the next one before two steps before A. So C and F were switched. The names were switched between C and F. C, what we call C, Lydian was actually C. What we call C Ionian was actually C Lydian. What we call F Lydian was actually F Ionian. So A was right on both sides. Then B, the correct B mode was Mixolydian, and the correct G mode was Locrian. And then you have C. C was what we call C Ionian was actually C Lydian, and then F, what we call F Lydian, was actually F Ionian. Next you have D and E, and they were switched. So what we call D Dorian was actually D Phrygian. What we call E Phrygian was actually E Dorian. I messed up there a little bit, but I corrected it. So basically to the Greeks, the modes were A Aeolian, B Mixolydian, C, yes, correct, C Lydian, then G Phrygian, E Dorian, F Ionian, G Locrian, and then A Aeolian. So the names are still the correct names, but were placed on the wrong letters within the C major scale or within the white keys. So I think some cleric or something in the Catholic Church just switched the order, but got A Aeolian right, but the others are switched. And as you go from one A to the other, each of the modes were switched. The direction was reversed. So we call it A Aeolian, then we say B Locrian, then C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, and then A Aeolian. The Greeks had it A Aeolian, B Mixolydian, C Lydian, E Dorian. Say that again. Aeolian. To the Greeks, it was Aeolian, B Mixolydian, C Lydian, E Dorian. I'm messing up. It's hard to do this. To the Greeks, it was Aeolian, B Mixed Lydian, C Ionian, D Phrygian, E Dorian, F Ionian, G Locrian, and A Aeolian. So they're just switched in order. The reason, and now I want to talk about the reason they call the B Mixed Lydian. B is a one note that has a diminished triad on it, so they didn't like to play that. So instead of giving it its own name, they named it after the mode that came after, which was C Lydian. So B wasn't really played, so they just called B Mixed Lydian because it was next to C, which was Lydian. So the Mixed Lydian was not played because that had a tritone against it. It had a diminished triad on the root, and that would have been that is the devil in music, and they didn't play that interval much, and they didn't play that mode, and that's why it doesn't have its own name. So that's interesting. I like that idea. So we call it C Ionian, D. I'll do this from A again. We call it A Aeolian, B Locrian, C Ionian, D Phrygian. Dude, it's hard to do this. We call it A Aeolian, B Locrian, C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, and A back to Aeolian. The Greeks had it. They called it A Aeolian, B Mixolydian, C Lydian, D Phrygian, E Dorian, F Ionian, G Locrian, and A Aeolian. Love you guys. Peace. Rock and roll.